For this video, I'm going to discuss forces in space. Okay. Um, for forces in space, it is not advisable to use the parallelogram law or parallelogram method, considering that there are three axes X, Y, and Z. So for this one, we're going to use rectangular components. In the first part of this chapter, problems in two dimensions were considered. They could be formulated and solved in a single plane. In this section, we will discuss problems involving the three dimensions of space. Consider a force F acting at the origin O of the system of regular rectangular coordinates x, y, z. To define the direction of F, we draw the vertical plane OBAC containing F. This plane passes through the vertical y-axis. Its orientation is defined by the angle phi it forms with the xy plane. The direction of F within the plane is defined by the angle theta sub y that F forms with the y-axis, this one. Now, the force F may be resolved into vertical component Fy and a horizontal component Fh. So based on a figure, for this right triangle OEB, Fy is the adjacent side considering this angle theta sub y. And FH, this one, FH, is the opposite side. So the corresponding scalar components are Fy equal to F cosine theta y and Fh equal to F sine theta y. But Fh may be resolved into two rectangular components, Fx and Fz, along the x and z axis respectively. We obtain the following expressions for the corresponding scalar components. Okay, so this is Fh and phi, and then we have components Fx and Fz. So for this triangle OCD, this is Fz, no? Is the opposite side, while Fx is the adjacent side. Fx is Fh cosine phi, and you replace the expression of Fh, this one, F sine theta y, that's Fx, and then Fz, Fh sine theta or F sine theta sine phi equals F sine theta y sine phi. Applying the Pythagorean theorem to the triangles OEB, okay, Pythagorean theorem na. So if this is FH, this one, EB is also FH. So considering FH, Fy, and F, using Pythagorean theorem, you have this one, F squared equal to FH squared plus Fy squared. Similarly, we apply Pythagorean theorem to triangle OCD. CD is the same as FZ, or simply FZ. And you have this expression, Fh squared equals Fx squared plus Fz squared. So combining, we eliminate Fh squared from these two equations. So pag-eliminate, this Fh squared will be replaced by this. So ang result is this one. F equal to square root of Fx squared plus Fy squared plus Fz squared. The relationship existing between the force F and its three components, Fx, Fy, Fz, is more easily visualized if a box having Fx, Fy, Fz for edges is drawn as shown. Like for this one, para makuha nimo ang relationship between Fx, theta x, and F, considering this right triangle, this is 90 degrees. First, let us consider this one and then also FZ. Now, let's go back to this one. This is 90 degrees. No? So, considering this right triangle, 90 man therefore, if x is the adjacent side, opposite side ng ED, hypotenuse ng F. So, using trigonometric function cosine, we have this. Fx equal to F cosine theta x. We do the same, there is a y. Fy is the adjacent side, EB opposite side, F again is the hypotenuse. Na there ang right angle, and no, Fy is equal to F cosine theta y. For this one, na there ang 90 degrees. So, ang resulta, ang FZ, adjacent na sa the three angles, theta x, theta y, theta z, define the direction of the force F, o direction siya, or direction angles. While ang cosine theta x, cosine theta y, cosine theta z are called direction cosines of the force F. So, for this one, para mas easier mag-determine sa components, let us try to introduce unit vectors I, J, K directed respectively along the X, Y, and Z axis. So respectively, pwede nyo ma-interchange. So ang I, i-associate na to sa X, ang J, i-associate sa Y, and K, i-associate na to sa Z. So, since naadre ang X, Y, o Z, then dapat napo diha ang I, J, K. So, kung ang asa ang X, nandito ang I, asa ang Y, ng J, and then Z, K. So, kung asa tong label, nandito ang positive. So, positive na I is going this way. Nadiha ang Y, positive diha J. Deripod, positive ang K. So, after we introduce the unit vectors, we can express the force in the form kene. Now, Fxi plus Fyj plus Fzk. So this is the x component, y, and the z component. Okay, let's have a sample problem. Determine the x, y, and z components of the 750 Newton force, and then let there be the 900 Newton force. For the 750 Newton force, we have this one. And the angle that the force makes with the y-axis is 35. So, ang buhaton ni mo ni, construct a rectangle. In this case, parallelogram na, 3D mo, no? Pero rectangle na, 90 degrees ni. And you have Fy, and then Fh. And since adjacent man ni cosine siya. Fh is 750 cosine 35. Ang ang Fy, ang Fh is 750 sine 35. So you compute, mao ni ang result. And then resolve Fh into x and z components. Mao ni siya. Fh and then 25 degrees. And then construct a rectangle. Mao na ang Fx, mao ni ang Fz. And then adjacent na sa dang Fx considering this angle. So muna ang Fx and then Fy. So you compute again, that's Fx and then Fy. So therefore, the components are Fx 389.878 newtons, Fy 614.364, and then Fz 181.803 newtons. Okay, nane. But if you want to express the force in vector form, inani siya. Kana. That's Fx, Fy, Fz. Since positive tanan, so therefore ang Fx na ada, ang Fy upward, like this, upward, and then ang Z na ada. For the 900 Newton force, ang angle is referred dire, sa XZ plane. o sa horizontal, not sa y-axis. So, pag construct mo rectangle, ang FH ang imong cosine. Kaya naman din naka-refer ang angle. Ang FY is sine. FH cosine, ang FY is sine. Okay, after this, ang FH na ang i-resolve into Z and X components. Kana, that's FH, and then naka 20 degrees with respect sa Z-axis, 20, and then form a rectangle, and mo niyang components, Fx and Fy. Now, ang atong Fx is negative, kay going this way, naman din ang positive X. So, negative ang Fx, ang Fy, positive. So, now, in this case, ang Fz ang cosine, kaya naman din ang angle. So, adjacent ang Fz, opposite ang Fx. Negative, kaya naman din siya pengon. Okay. So, that's Fx and then Fy. Therefore, the components are Fx, negative, Fy, 815, Fz, 357. And in vector form, yun na, negative ang Fx, positive ang Fy, positive ang Fz. Okay. Force defined by its magnitude and 2 points on its line of action. Now, in some problems, ang direction sa force is not defined by its angle with respect sa x and y axis. But ang given are 2 points sa iyang line of action. So how do we get components if dili angle ang given? Instead, coordinates sa points ang given. Okay. Based from this figure, ang atong f, ang magnitude sa f is king diagonal. From M to N. And ang points M and N, mora na ang points na wala pariha o coordinates. So x1, y1, z1. The other one is x2, y2, z2. And ang kini, difference sa x ni sa x2 minus x1, kini difference sa y coordinates, and then difference sa z coordinates. x2 minus x1. One siya dx, kini dy, and then dz. So, ang components na is nga f over d times dx. Ang fy is f over d times dy. So, kung given ang duha ka points with coordinates na, makuha mo nimo ning dx, makuha sad ng dy, makuha sad ng dz. Ang d sad nakuha sad na magnitude man na. Ang d ba distance between 2 points in space, naman tayo formula na. And then kung given ang magnitude sa force, makuha dahil na to ang components. The third one is Fz. Mao dahil niya pagkakuha nimo ng tulo ka components in vector form, this one. And if you will substitute the expression of fx, fy, and fz there, you can see na common ang f over d. Common. So, i-factor out na mo na bilin. Okay? Now, akong gitry og modify para dili na ni dy, dz, and dx. So, what I'm trying to do is i-transfer na ko ang initial point or ang tail sa force, i-transfer na ko sa origin para instead na x1, y1, z1, 0 na siya. 0, 0, 0 na. Like this one. So, mag-construct ko box. Okay. One of the diagonals is the magnitude. Pero kaya ang atong tail kay kini man, therefore, ang atong tip nga walay 0 na coordinates is this one. Diya ata. Mao man ni ang point nga walay 0. Kini 0 ang y. Di ba? Kana, 0 ang X. Kani sad, 0 ang Z. Kinira ang wala. So, ang coordinates ana atong i-denote as X, Y, Z. So, distance ayun na, distance between 2 points D. Ang iya ding component, instead na dx, x ra because makita nimo dire x2 minus x1 na wala man ta subscript sa atong point. So, x minus 0, x ra gyapon. So, instead na dx, we put simply x lang. Then this one, y, and then the other one, z. Kana lang. Eh. So, kung ato i-compare dayon sa force, okay, let's draw again a box. Kini nga diagonal force ni. Oh. So, ang coordinates ni nga point same ra gyapon, x, y, z, no? And then pulyan nato siya o force. Naman kanina sa previous nga slides, nakita dito na ang components niya or ang edges sa box mo ang components niya. So that's fx, the other one fy, and then this one fz. And based sa ning duha ka boxes, nakakuha ta og ratio and we can do ratio and proportion. Kana fx over f is the same as x over d. And then fy over f is the same as y over d. And then fz over f, z over d also. So, i-cross multiply mo ang f, nata inani. So, ang modification ani is instead na dx, x ra, para di ka maglibog sa awan. Basin, ma-multiply nimo ang d og x, no? Bali, d sub x mo dito siya. X component sa distance, bali. Para di ka ma-confuse, we just replace it by x, and then the other one, y and z. Now, ang pagkuha sa d, ay, ano siya? Same lagon sa f. Kung i-compare nimo dire, ang magnitude sa f is actually square root of fx squared plus fy squared plus fz squared. Same ra na dire. Ang pagkuha sa d, square root pod sa iyang components, square sa components. Dahil in vector form, kaning fx dayon, pulihan na to dire. As well as fy and fz. Mo na ni atong final expression karon. Force in vector form. So, muna ang gamiton ninyo. Okay? Pag mag-solve ng problem sa force in space. Example problem. A tower guy wire is anchored by means of a bolt at A. The tension in the wire is 2,500 newtons. Determine the components Fx, Fy, Fz of the force acting on the bolt. And letter B, determine the angles theta x, theta y, and theta z, defining the direction of the force. Now, again, para na kay guide, wala label no x, y, z, pero ito na i-assume na x, ni y, and z. So, para na kay guide, magbutangan naman sa marker. Sorry. Okay. So, this one, no? Butangan naman og marker. So, ana ta, IJK. Okay? IJK. Okay. Now, ang tension na to is 2.5. Okay? And if you imagine this tower, ang direction sa force aning EB, it should be downward, no? Iya man ang i-pull downward, no? Pero ang required there is components of force acting on the bolt at A. So tension gihapon. Pero upward na kay sa A man ba. So tension going that way. So dari unta dapat, no? Kung sa B, pero sa A man ni. So opposite siya. Ana. Same og magnitude ni. Pero ang iyang components, bali. No? So, we already have the magnitude of if. We have the distances. So how do we compute for, or how do we determine the components? So, para dili ka, so that it will be easier for you to determine the components. Okay. Mo niya akong suggestion for the distances as if na you travel from point A to B. And ang condition is that every time you move, it's either you move along the axis or parallel sa axis. Dili pwede na mo create ka og another axis. Oh, parallel lang sa XYZ or along XYZ. Okay, so inan isa. So from A, one option is you move this way. This line is parallel sa X man. Okay ra na. Now, by having this, kay balo ka, you will have an idea na ang X coordinate is negative. Kaya going this way. So this is negative 40. I. Ba? X man eh. And then after this, payon ka sa bottom sa tower. Okay. And you know that it's positive K. K dire man positive K. 30 siya. And then, from the bottom, you go up to point B. Upward man na. So that's positive J. O kaya ang atong diagram dire, makita na to na ang J is upward. So positive na siya. So ang components mo is mani ang X, Y, and Z. Ang distance daw nimo katong square root sa X squared, Y squared, and Z squared. Kana. So para kung mag-vector form ka, ana na kay guide, maski og squared siya, you put negative. Like X is negative 40. Anyway, square, ma-positive ramang hapon ano. Pero, okay. By doing this, ma-double check nimo later na ang imong X component ay negative, ang Y positive, ang Z positive. Negative 40X, 30K man eh, Z. Okay. And then positive 80 na J, Y. So, the distance from A to B is 94.34 meters. Imo na i-substitute dire. Like this one. If X, magnitude is 25, X is negative 40 na divided by D. Same with Y and then Z. And then you compute, mo niya ang X component negative, Y positive, Z positive. So this is for letter A. For letter B, cosine theta, theta X, theta Y, theta Z, mao man niya. Di ba? If we go back, dire, if X is equal to F cosine theta X. So to solve for theta X, our cosine ka of Fx over F. This one. And then theta Y and then theta Z. Mao man ang ipangita ang required theta X, theta Y, theta Z. So you substitute if X negative 1060 divided by 25, you get our cosine and then another theta X. Now, theta X, theta Y, theta Z. You compute na. So these are the direction angles of F of this force 2,500 newtons. More than yung components. An alternate solution is dili na ka magdaghatag sa o determine sa X component. Okay. Mas direct siya. Okay. So, again, we have this guide and then direction, distances, going that way, going this way, and then going up. Okay, this one. Huh? So, ang solution is this, direct. No? F over D na xi plus yj plus zk. So, ang F is 25, ang D is 94.34. Ang X dayon, direct na mag-base, negative 40, Y is 80, Z is 30. Kana. And then next, distribute na dayon. You can divide this one. Divide. 26.5 times negative 40. 26.5 times 80. 26.5 times 30. And the result, mo na yung fx, fy, and then diretso. And then for the angles, same lang sa previous na solution. Same lang. So you can do this one instead na katong individual na pagkuha sa fx, fy, and fz. Another problem. Knowing that the tension in cable AB is 1,425 newtons, determine the components of the force exerted on the plate at B. And then letter B, knowing that the tension in cable AC is 2,130 newtons, determine the components of the force exerted on the plate at C. Okay. Given tension AB and tension AC, what is asked are components of the force exerted on the plate at B. So, cable man sa tension. So, dapat ang force nimo from B to A ka, no? Going this way. And then sa C, sad, from C to A po ang force. Okay, so, mo niya itong guide, no? X, Y, o Z man. So, mo niya ang guide nito. I, J, K, and Z. Yan. So, let's start with this one. Okay. Let's recall. Mo niya itong individual ta, Fx, Fy, and then Fz. So, force at B. Kane. So, ang movement na to, going this way, from B to A, ano ka? So, gigan sa B, you can go up, and then move this way. Move pa yun sa A. So, naka-idea na ang X ni mo negative, ang Y positive, ang Z positive. So, the distance of AB is negative 900. Ang X, positive 600. Ang Y, positive 360. Ang Z. And naka-idea na. So, modern ni mong X component. If ang AB is 1425 man. So, 1425 over distance. X dayon yung component. Ana, Fy, and then Fz. And then, force sa C. Sa C na sad ka. This one. Ang movement nimo from C to A. So, you go this way. Next nimo, pwede ka up and then move to A. Pwede sad ka dire. Ay ka mo saka pa yung sa A. Depende. Dili nagmatter kung asa ka moagi. Pwede ra gid dire yung B, tapos diha payon sa O, then saka, then say pwede ra. Pwede ra. Okay, this one. C to D and then go up and then move to A. So, makita dire na ang X na to is negative 900, ang Y positive 600, ang Z na to is negative 920. Okay, going this way, negative 920. Ano ni sa negative 900, positive 600, negative 920. It's 1,420. So, gamitin lang nimo as your guide pagkuha sa components. Y and then Z. Okay. Yung naanay ang quad. So this is for letter A and then letter B. The alternate solution is katong vector form diretso. Okay. So guide and then That's FBA, mo din yung kan. Yan. Going this way, saka, ana, ano. Recall din tayo. Mo nito? So, distance AB, negative 900, plus 600, plus 360, 1140. Na din itong FB. Magnitude, scalar value over D, tapos X na yun, no? Negative 900, positive 600, positive 360. And i-divide na nimo, pwede ra. 1.25 i-times mo dia, that's ano. So FBX, Y, and then Z. And then next, sa C na sad, same gapon, up, and then go to A. Mo na mo. Distance EC, negative 900, positive 600, negative 920. And same lang ani, naka FC. Yan. The scalar value is 2130 over 1420. So i-divide, the result is 1.5 times 900 times 600 times 920. Naka FX, FY, and FZ. So depende, no? Depende. Choice ni mo kung saan mo gamiton. Inani ba vector form or katong individual, bisan asa. So I hope that after watching this, you'll be able to determine the X, Y, and Z coordinates sa force, no? So by drawing arrows, it will help you para dili ka ma-confuse sa sign sa components. Thank you for watching.